Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Invincible. We're back with Invincible, episode 2 of this great show. Yeah, it's been a while. I kind of I didn't mean to leave it this long, but then in my defense, I feel like I did need a bit of a break. But then again, a week would have been enough. A week, like 1 week at least, would have definitely been enough. But regardless, episode 1 ended on the craziest fucking high note I have, probably at least one of the craziest high notes I have ever experienced in all my years of watching television, and especially animated animated television at that. Like, even for an animated show, I did not think they would go that hard with the brutality and the gore. So I think, and it's also I think even the other responses, even like whether they're reactions or tweets or whatever it is, like other like kind of social responses I've seen from people who have actually gotten into the show has been the same thing. Like, oh, the first 20 to like it's the last 5 to 10 minutes that gets everyone. It's the last 5 minutes of that episode that got everyone, and everything else seemed to kind of like moderately okay, and it seemed like a fun superhero show and something you could get into. But then the last 10 minutes is when Omni-Man just goes batshit crazy, and everyone actually sees the full extent of that craziness, and they're just like, okay, I definitely, because like we don't even get any justification, no justification, no answers, just Omni-Man summoning the Guardians of the Globe to their own lair, and then brutalizing them all to the point of death, like just crushed skulls and brains and blood and guts everywhere. So yeah, he killed them. He killed all the Guardians. He killed Red Mist. He killed War Woman. He killed the Fish Person, the Green Phasing Person, Immortal. Yes, ironically enough, he killed Immortal. He killed all of them, and Darkwing too. I mean, Darkwing was unarguably like the most human member there. So this was basically like a Batman of the team, and he was very human. So that was probably the easiest kill for him to do. But then everyone else, he crushed the Fish Brains and Red Mist Brains and the Green Phaser's brains. I like half of them. I think, I don't know if it's the fact that they didn't even get names or if I just don't remember them. But I think so, like some of the ones that they actively exclaimed in the beginning of the episode, I did actually remember those names, and then they were carried on. But it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. And I think what gets me even more, a friend of mine actually informed me about this. They were all, I'm pretty sure, like they were all voiced by members of the Walking Dead cast. Robert Kirkman literally, invited some, fellow kind of colleagues from The Walking Dead, only to kill them off in like the final 10 minutes of the very first episode of the show. So if that's not, like a middle finger from the writer, then I don't know what is. But yes, and War Woman was voiced by Lauren Cohen, by Maggie. He killed off Maggie in another show. So he, kills her husband in The Walking Dead, and then he snaps her neck in Invincible. That should tell you everything you need to know about about what kind of a person Robert Kirkman is. But regardless, he's done a great job. Everyone involved did a great job of actually introducing this show to viewers and to the Amazon streaming platform. So I can't wait to see what's ahead. What is left to see in this show. But Omni-Man, I think besides from killing everyone, we figured out that Omni-Man is pretty much the kind of main superhero of this kind of universe of this story. He is the one above them all, and he has a son. He has a son, Mark Grayson, voiced by Stephen Yeun. He's voiced by Stephen Yeun, and he has just manifested. I think throughout the episode we saw him first struggling to get his powers, then manifesting them slowly, and then by the end of the episode he had officially become invincible. So again, like that kind of pacing kind of irked me ever so slightly, but for the most part it did feel kind of comfortable enough to enjoy and to watch and everything. So going into episode 2, I assume maybe we'll see something more fluid and something more kind of like cementable as him being invincible. But for the most part, the introduction did work out really well. So we saw him, we saw that his dad comes from, I think he actually mentioned like an alien planet. I don't know, I think I wrote it down, like Viltrium or Vitrium or something, like something with a V. Need to go back quite a bit. Viltrum, yeah, Viltrum. So Viltrum, a planet of people who are superhuman, who have superpowers and everything, and then once you come of age, you manifest those powers and you train them, and then eventually you actually leave the planetary nest, and you, I think you can actually choose to go to another planet to defend it, and Omni-Man chose Earth. He chose to become Earth's defender, and then he met Debbie Grayson, voiced by Sandra Oh, and then they both had Mark. So he's half human, half Viltrum. So I think his powers whilst they are kind of still manifesting, that they're also like somewhat weaker than his fathers. So that only makes sense. So we had all that kind of good backstory. We met Amber, his kind of crush at high school, voiced by Zazie Beetz, and then his best friend, who I can't remember what his name is, and I can't remember who voices him either. But he has a best friend. He has that whole kind of dynamic in his school going on. He has the crush, and then he has his best friend, and then there's the typical high school bully too. Every typical high school bully that you get in these kinds of stories. And then we had, I can't remember what his name is, the tailor, the guy that actually made the suits. He made suits for everyone. He made suits for pretty much all the superheroes in town, even Omni-Man, and he was voiced by Mark Hamill. So that was a very cool addition to the crew too. And I think there are a bunch of other kind of noteworthy and very, very kind of like recognizable names in this show too. So like not all of them are coming to mind immediately as of right now, but I have seen them in the trailer and in the kind of cast list. So lots of people to look forward to meeting for the first time and seeing how they get on with Mark and or Omni-Man. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can remember. It was such a fast-paced episode, and then it ended with that, and I was just blown off my feet. I think it's fair to say the entire kind of fandom was blown off their feet, but yeah, so yeah, I think going forward now, we just have to kind of, like see how the world reacts to the entire team being killed. I think I don't even know if the world's gonna know or find out that it was actually Omni-Man. But either way, something's gonna happen, and then he's gonna have to try and justify this or explain this, or we still have to find out why, because like there's been no evidence that like. From what I remember seeing, there was no evidence of mind control either. Like there was no evidence that he was actually being forced to do this. It was just like, at the end, he just collapsed and he was exhausted at having to take all these hits and deliver even harder ones. So he was exhausted, but then that was it. Like no regret, no remorse, no shame, no guilt, none of that stuff. So I think I personally think that mind control is out of the picture here. But either way, we start to find out why the fuck he did what he did. He killed the entire team, no survivors. So we need answers. I need answers. I think most of you watching this have hopefully actually watched the episode first and then coming to this reaction. But yeah, on to episode 2 of Invincible. So yeah, let's go. And also, before I forget, this will just be the highlights reel of reactions, the best bits from the episodes. But if you guys want to catch the full-length version, the full-length reaction, that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, on to Invincible episode 2. Let's go.
My dad never mentioned you guys.
That's the idea. We work with superheroes like your father to keep the world safe.
Like S.H.I.E.L.D. So they're like S.H.I.E.L.D. then.
We'll even work with
Invincible. Oh, that's a great way. Oh yeah, blood already. Well, already blood. Oh boy. So they're like S.H.I.E.L.D. then if they work with superheroes.
And our doctors
Donald looks like a brown Coulson, like a brown-haired Coulson, lighter-haired Coulson. He looks like a Coulson.
Not yet, anyway.
And Cecil.
But we'll find out.
He looks evil. Yeah, I'm sorry, but he looks evil. He looks ominous.
We're a little understaffed in the hero department.
Are you though? You got Invincible on your side? Maybe. Possibly, hopefully. Oh wow, this is an army. This is a full-on army. This isn't just an alien attack. Okay, is he laser-proof? Is he a laser-proof? Oh gee, okay, he is. He just he takes hits. Oh. Oh, there we go. There's a new team. Oh boy, okay. And a robot, Rex.
I got eyes too, robot.
Robot Rex and Eve. Okay, this is a new team. Duplicate. Oh, that is awesome. Duplicate. She multiplies. Okay, that is so cool. That is super cool. Eve. Okay, she looks cool. Nice. God, this is a full-scale army. This is a full-scale army. You need more than just a team. Oh, okay, yeah, he's gonna have a cool scar across his face the rest of the season.
When I say I never want it to happen.
Is that Jason Mantzoukas? Is that Jason Mantzoukas? Pimento from 9-9 and Derek from The Good Place. Is that him? That voice is so recognizable. I can easily recognize that voice. That's definitely Jason Mantzoukas.
Speaking as someone who's been attacked in this stupid city, I'm here for you. Whatever you need. You want to talk? I'll listen.
That's really sad to hear.
I make a good one.
Thanks for saving my butt back there. Yesterday, I mean.
Yesterday? Oh.
Oh.
That was you.
That was him.
Blue you in the yellow?
Yeah, that was me.
I think she's voiced by Gillian Jacobs too. I heard that from a friend. Yeah.
Meet me out front after class, Invincible.
Oh, she's so cool. Oh, she's so cool. She's so cool. Damn, he can teleport.
Show to another.
So is he
Give me
super
some
too?
good
Can he
news,
just teleport? Or is that like a
Whoever
device?
did this.
Who's there? Oh, who's this? Oh,
Sir, who the...
oh, he can see the past.
Demon detective.
Damien Darkblood. A demon detective. Oh. So he can't see who did it. He can't see that it was actually
Help us solve the
Omni-Man.
case, oh great horn Holmes.
Yeah, he can't see that it was Omni-Man. Okay.
I gotta run. Catch you later.
Yeah, now he's confident enough to walk away. And now he's hanging out with Eve. It's because he's hanging out with Eve. Okay. And they're together.
Hey, it's the Iceman.
They're together.
Couldn't have won that
Okay.
fight without you.
It should give us a few minutes of early warning. Cecil and the GDA have also requested to call on us for any
I
possible
can't tell who that is.
emergencies,
So familiar.
since the
So damn
Guardians are
familiar.
currently-
Dad didn't talk about this part of being a superhero.
Your dad's good at a lot of things. Talking about his feelings isn't one of them. But we can talk.
Yes, let's get some mother and son time. Some Debbie and Mark time. Yeah, his mother, I believe, will be his anchor for this whole story. The one thing humanizing him.
She'll be okay.
Well, it's too soon to tell, but...
Oh, please let her live. Please let her live. Come on. Okay, at least let the person he saved live. He saved one person, at least. Let her live.
Is Mark dating Eve Wilkins?
I wish. I mean, no. Definitely not. She's got a boyfriend. He is super available. You want his number? I'll write it down for you.
Wow, he's the ultimate wingman. William is the ultimate wingman.
Where are you guys coming from?
Oh. Okay, please don't kill this team too. We've already lost the Guardians. We do not need to lose the team. The team, come on. Let's keep the team alive. She's got some really awesome powers. She has really cool powers. Yeah. Come on, duplicate, come on. Oh boy, okay. Oh, he's gonna turn into his dad. Yeah, just stomp on there. Just stomp on that. Just drop them and then stomp on their hands. Yeah, simple tactic. Yeah. Or if you have pinpoint accuracy like that, just send us some blast.
Don't get me wrong, that was amazing, but also the scariest thing I've ever seen. Just don't ever point that at me, okay?
Don't listen
Yeah,
to
well
Rex.
now
You
you
did
know not to
great.
piss him off.
That's
Yeah.
what I said, Eve. God, my back.
Oh, your
Can I
back.
massage? Anybody? Just a little rub.
Everything okay?
He's definitely Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh no, that's fine. We'll
Yeah.
handle the cleanup.
Oh, he's awake.
Dad!
Nolan's awake.
Ow!
Oh boy, he's awake.
Careful.
Your
Going to put
ribs?
him in a
You
coma
crushed
again.
brains and you're complaining about ribs?
No, he's not.
You got a lot to answer
But
for,
he
Nolan.
is okay enough to come home.
What hospital did they move Maya to? No,
Oh, she didn't make it.
no,
no.
They said she'd recover.
Oh, she didn't make
It's
it.
part of the job.
Maya.
Come on, let's go home.
There's been no sign of the iconic heroes for over a week, leaving the local champions to pick up the slack.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you're the same guy. I fought here 3 years ago.
No, I'm not the same guy.
Well, sucks to be you then.
Oh, his one eye. Just headbutt. Yeah, just one eye. Oh,
Are you using your timeout?
a timeout.
Why did I get a timeout?
Hey, I didn't invent the rules.
What rules?
What rules?
I don't even know who you are.
Oh.
What's
you don't?
going on? They can actually
All right,
have a sit down and talk.
I'm an evaluation officer for the Coalition of Planets.
An evaluation
I built
officer.
little dirt balls like yours to make sure there's someone capable of defending
It's
them
a
against,
test.
planet conquering
It's a
monsters,
test. It's a
predators.
literal test.
Request from Urath for evaluation.
Urath?
Request
This
from
is
Urath.
Earth.
This is. Oh, he's got the wrong planet.
Earth.
Thorath. Oh my
Not
god.
Wrath.
No.
Earth doesn't even have a U. It has an E.
Or a you.
E.
Oh, I'm in so much trouble. Well, thanks for letting me know. I'm Ellen, by the way.
Then the lights went out and someone attacked me. I fought with them until I passed out. Woke up in your hospital. That's
Huh. So he could have been mind controlled then. So he could have
I've
been.
never seen you lose like that before.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
it. Yeah.
Because she found some old photos of me, okay? Photos she said she'd delete if I did this one stupid thing and then never talk to you again.
Okay.
Happy
Oh.
life with her.
Oh, so she got. Oh, so she got leverage on him.
Photos of what, Todd?
Don't push your luck.
Oh,
Grace.
photos of what? Is it embarrassing? I mean, embarrassing. Doesn't have to be nudes, but is it embarrassing stuff?
I have bad news.
Oh, Robot's got bad news, everybody. Did you hear that? Hey, Robot, what's the bad news?
There are too many of them. Their technology has advanced too far.
Oh, I kind of love Rex. I kind of love
We should
Rex.
consider the city lost.
Oh, now they're drawing blood. Now they're drawing blood. Oh. Oh God, Mark. Oh. Oh, Omni-Man's here. Omni-Man's here. There we go, yeah, okay. This guy might be the one guy I'm okay with Omni-Man actually taking out, as well as this entire army. Just him. He can be the nuclear option. He can very easily be the nuclear option.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh.
Omni-Man's your
Oh yeah, now they find that out too. Oh great, so he's gone again. Nolan's gone again. Can he find his way back? Whoa. He is literally the nuclear option. He is literally the nuclear option. He's nuking the entire city, the planet. He's nuking the planet. Oh, good God. Oh, oh, and he's aged. He's aged. The facial hair, he's aged. Yeah. She was right. It's another Tuesday. Just another Tuesday.
Put an A6 surveillance team on the Graysons.
Sir?
The
On
killer's
the
still out there, Donald.
Graysons.
Might decide to finish the job.
Ah, okay. Surely they should put it together that the logical thing is that, you know, since Omni-Man is the only survivor, then he's obviously the one responsible. But no. No. Yeah, Gillian Jacobs and Jason Mantzoukas. And yeah, a bunch of other recognizable names, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this was a surprisingly lighter episode. This was a great continuation and a surprisingly lighter episode. We meet the new team. There is a new team, so yeah, they kill off I feel like yeah, they kill off the adult team in the first one. The adults who unarguably should be more experienced and more fearsome and be able to stand their ground. But then the teen team in this one is introduced, and they're literally called the teen team. They mentioned two others, which is the Fight Force and the Lizard League. But the teen team is the one we see in this one here now. And they seem fun. So Atom Eve, who is voiced by Gillian Jacobs, I think her character was mentioned to me by a friend. He did actually tell me about Gillian Jacobs actually voicing a character named Eve. But I think it's like it took me a while to actually put things together and to actually, you know, clock, oh, that's actually Eve, then it must be Atom Eve and stuff. So she seems very cool. She has like, you know, like different like kind of blasting hex powers, and she can put up shields and everything, so that's cool. And she is with Rex Splode. She's with Rex Splode, who is voiced, I think his voice seemed all the more familiar, and it actually hit me once I realized it actually hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, wait, is that Jason Mantzoukas? Because his voice, I love him in the good. I loved him in The Good Place as Derek, and I loved him even more in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as Adrian Pimento. He was phenomenal in that. So Jason Mantzoukas, he's just a really, really awesome actor, and he's great in pretty much any role he takes on. So seeing him in this and hearing him in this even is so great. So he is a Rex Splode. I think Rex. I think he really gives Rex that kind of personality and stuff with his kind of very, very minimalistic jealousy and his kind of sarcasm and his wit and everything. So he is a Rex Splode, and he throws like coins and stuff and they explode. So that seems pretty cool. The voice for the robot too, I can't place that one as well. I can't place that one as clearly, but that one seems eerily familiar too. Again, like so many, it's like when I see the names, it's like, oh, I know the names. I can definitely attach those names to people at least 9 times out of 10. But then when I hear the voices, it's like, again, it's like the same thing with the last episode. It's like when I'm watching these kinds of voice acted and voice dubbed stuff, I'm like, I'm less focused on who is the voice than as opposed to actually, you know, who is the character and who are they and what are they all about and stuff. So like the voices will always be recognizable to me, but whether or not I'm able to immediately identify those voices is a completely different story. So yeah, but we had the robot, so the robot is pretty much literally a robot, can ID and scan and all that kind of jazz, and has its own strength, so that's fun. And then we had Duplicate, and I don't know who voices her, but she like definitely multiplies herself. And I think with her, I think usually with those kinds of powers and with those kinds of characters, I think the kind of general rule of thumb is, you know, you can kill the duplicates as much as you want, as much as they've created, but then if you do take out the host and the original kind of person, then they will die and all their duplicates will die. So duplicate literally, I think there was actually one shot too where she was actually running across the street and like lasers were firing at full blast, and as they were hitting her, she was duplicating, so then her duplicates were killed upon contact. Like that shot was really cool, and a really cool demonstration of her powers, as well as a demonstration of the kind of ferocity of the Flaxons too. Like they were literally killing her duplicates almost like in the split second that they were being created, and her reflex was to create duplicates to avoid being killed herself. And I think it's also like that's also like a really weird thing to think about too. Like, you know, like her duplicates, you know, I mean, I don't know if you're meant to read too much into it, but then me being me, I just can't help it. Like, you know, like, do her duplicates have any kind of sentience of their own? Like, are they like literally created solely to fight, or do they kind of respond, and can she order her duplicates around, or is there like spawning NPCs in like a game? Like you spawn like a friendly bot or like a friendly NPC, and they suddenly just immediately jump into the heat of battle to try and help you or something. So I don't know, but because it feels like, you know, like if any of her duplicates do survive, then do they go back into her body, or do they carry on? Or I mean, I feel like it'll probably because I think if you did make it so that they could carry on outside of her body, then that would bring up like character stuff, you know, of its own outside of the main plot. But then it'll probably make more sense for her to be able to absorb them back into her for later use as well. Because then I imagine it also takes up a lot of energy to create multiple duplicates and then keep them alive outside of your body too. So so that seems fun. But yeah, Duplicate seems very fun. So that is the team. That is the new team, the teen team. They seem very, very cool. And then we also find out that Atom Eve is also known as more commonly and more humanly as Eve Wilkins, and she also goes to Mark's school. She's actually a fellow student at his school, and I think that does kind of emphasize the fact that they are like a teenage team. For the most part, anyway. I mean, she goes to school. I think we don't know about Duplicate. We don't know about Duplicate. We don't know if she goes to school as well. But then Rex, I think Rex made a point to emphasize that he never got to go to, like he apparently never got to go to school. So I don't know if he still doesn't have that chance with being in Mark and Eve's city and being within the vicinity of their school, or what's happening, or if he just decided to drop out, or if he just kind of decided not to go and decided to be a superhero full-time instead. But he made a point of emphasizing that he never got to go to school, so then he was very, very briefly jealous of that kind of connection being between Eve and Mark, so that was fun. But yeah, I think that will definitely also. I mean, we've already seen it offering up some interesting kind of dynamics too. Like, you know, now I think now Mark has already been shown kind of displaying some kind of more confident tendencies and more confident kind of characteristics too. Like him being invincible now, like it means he can literally just walk away from different people and just kind of, you know, even just be, you know, blissfully seen leaving school with Eve Wilkins and even Amber in the distance, like watching them leave together, and now she's all the more curious and trying to get William to tell her what's going on too. So Mark, I feel like, you know, him definitely gaining these powers, gaining this mantle, and like embracing this new identity is actually literally allowing him to kind of reinvent himself and become this new person. Instead of being the kind of shy, the typical kind of shy nerd at school, I think he's getting that kind of very kind of, you know, like very kind of textbook kind of development too. Like he goes from being the shy nerd to the kind of still a nerd, but now he's like the kind of uber strong, super powered nerd. So now he has that identity going for him too. So that's going to be fun to see how that develops. So that should be cool. And speaking of Amber, we also saw her actually blackmailing Todd into giving Mark both an apology for having beat him up in the first place, and also her number too. So I feel like that's her. I think she is. I think you know, like she did try and strike up a conversation in the hallway with him, but then he actually walked off, and like he literally walked off and actually had plans already with Eve to actually solidify. So I think she is kind of she is now actually noticing him a bit more, but then actually it's that thing where, you know, well, you didn't notice him before, and now he's actually kind of found his time and attention with someone else, so now she's actively. I mean, there's no guarantee that she is trying to actually find a relationship with him, but I think she's at the very least trying to find the foundations for a friendship at the very least with him. So she's at least actually trying to get the chance to talk to him and then to actually get to know him. But then now he's now become invincible. He now talks to Eve Wilkins, and even her even asking William, like, oh, are Mark and Eve dating now? Is it are they now the new thing on on the school grounds? Are they like the new couple and everything? But you know, I think yeah, because I think I can definitely see them kind of going with the whole kind of like maintaining the Amber and Mark thing, whilst also maybe testing the Eve thing. Because I think with them, it's like they're both superheroes. So it's like, you know, I feel like the way that might go is that you know, and especially because Eve is a trained and experienced superhero to some extent, whereas Mark is definitely still kind of fresh off the boat of getting superpowers, and he's still kind of learning to do his thing and stuff like that. So I think maybe they might test the waters of having a relationship. I think ultimately they will discover that they both prefer to be friends, but also the fact that, you know, even if she was going to be with a superhero, she would rather be with one who's actually, you know, who's not really afraid of their powers, who knows their limits and knows their strengths and stuff like that. Like, not to say that she would completely reject him because of that, but at the same time, in a way, like maybe they might have a fun training montage together. But either way, especially with her and Rex already being like a solidified and well-founded thing, I don't really think that's going to be something that she's willing to drop just for Mark. So I think, you know, they could explore both ends. They could explore both ends of Mark and Eve and Mark and Amber, so it'll be fun to see how exactly that develops. But yeah, I guess we'll see. And yeah, then we met the GDA, the Global Defense Agency. So they are essentially maybe like a somewhat secretive kind of intelligence agency that works with superheroes. Essentially the shield of this universe. Even Donald, he looks like a Coulson. I can't help but actually notice that he looks like a Coulson with lighter brown hair. And then we have, instead of a Fury, we have Cecil, who is basically Fury, but like an old white dude with kind of scarring around his lips. I mean, I don't know why, like the scarring and the balding and his overall kind of appearance and his demeanor just kind of kind of gave off the kind of secret old villain vibe. I mean, for all I know, he could still be an antagonist of some kind, but I just don't know yet. But either way, they're on the GDA, and they even have their own little jets, and they have their own little kind of remote kind of secret base where there's medical suites and all sorts of other things. So he runs the GDA, the Global Defense Agency, and they work with superheroes to actually keep the world safe. So that is very cool. And yeah, so they were they had their GDA paramedics at the scene, and because they're like that kind of special kind of secret agency, they're also not like a normal hospital. They're also not like a normal hospital, but at the same time, even with that, I think that's what kills me. Like, even with that, they still couldn't save Maya. They still could not save Maya. That one actually got to me, and especially, I didn't even know he was actually going to check Maya's bed. I thought he walked into that room expecting to find his dad, but then he actually mentioned Maya at the actual reception desk, and I was like, oh god, has she been moved? And then it's like, you know, and then there was a hesitation after he asked, oh, has she been moved, or what's happened? And then that's when you find out the one person Mark tried to save didn't make it. The one person he actively tried to save still couldn't make it. So I mean, she was old anyway. She was pretty old, and she took like quite a few kind of blasts to her body. So it wasn't exactly minor injuries, and even that doctor told Mark that, you know, like, there's no confirmation. They just have to wait until time gives them some kind of news, and then unfortunately, it's nothing but bad news. So R.I.P. to Maya. But they do still have like state-of-the-art medical facilities and like equipment and resources kind of better equipped to deal with these kinds of threats. So the GDA, the shield of this universe, so that's cool. And they worked with pretty much every superhero, including Omni-Man. So like I think they worked with most, if not all, the teams. Like I think they do work with all the teams. They were in contact with Robot, so we know they work with the Teen Team. I honestly have to resist the urge to call them the Teen Titans, because I think I know of the Titans as the Titans and the Teen Titans. I think the Teen Titans is the original name, but then I think the actual DC live action version is just called the Titans. Like I think they started off as teenagers, but they still kind of formed their own team when they became adults, so they just called themselves the Titans. But I have to actively resist the urge to call them the Teen Titans. But I mean, they could still have that vibe going for them. I mean, like they could easily still have that vibe going for them, like where they are like teenage superheroes, like they're a team of teenage superheroes. So like they are literally the teen team. So so they are in contact with pretty much every superhero kind of team, and even the solos out there. So like even Omni-Man. So they work with him to help keep the planet safe, and they're trying to actively kind of get a handle on these threats. So that's cool. And they're working with Damien Darkblood. That is one of the most cool. That is one of the coolest names I've heard. I think he's not even strictly a superhero. He's literally a demon from hell. He's literally a demon detective. So like Constantine, but a demon. So he's actually a demon from hell, and he kind of touches, but he can touch blood, or maybe just like any kind of human remains, and then he can actually get visions of what happened to produce that kind of waste and stuff. So then he could then revisualize the different members of the team being killed. He could then revisualize the Fish and Green Ghost, I think her name was Green Ghost, and then War Woman, and even Red Rush being killed. He could see them being killed, but he just couldn't see who was doing the killing. So yeah, I think honestly, right, I get the feeling that as each episode goes on, right up until the finale, or maybe even right up until the penultimate episode, like each episode is gonna go on, and it's gonna even. We're gonna watch as all these different clues fit in together like a puzzle for the characters. Like, you know, like for us as the audience, we know from the get-go Omni-Man did the killing. We know that much. But then as each episode goes by, I think like different clues are gonna fit into place. As these episodes go by, that actually allow the characters themselves to actually theorize more accurately as to who did what and what happened and everything. So it's a really, really cool way to unfold that story. I think I actually give us the answer from the get-go, and then actually fit it into the story for the characters as the episodes go on. So that kind of formula, that kind of structure is really, really cool for the story. So that's really fun. But they don't know that Nolan killed them all. I think even Nolan's story was that, you know, that he received it like a distress signal, leading him to the Guardians of the Globe's lair, and then he was taken out by a random attacker who was powerful enough to knock him out. Even Cecil kind of pointed out that, you know, you're one of the most powerful superheroes out there, so whoever knocked you out and took control of you must have, I mean, not to taking control of, but whoever knocked you out, you know, is someone to be feared, because it's not just anyone that can actually knock him out. So I mean, even if that is true, that would then mean that it would have to be someone. I mean, I feel like it can't be true. I feel like it really can't be true. Like, you know, and especially because we saw Nolan coming in, he took out the Flaxen planet. He himself, he was the living nuclear option. As soon as Robot mentioned a nuclear option, Nolan became the living nuclear option. He literally flew the main Flaxen dude through like a bunch of different buildings until there was nothing but his head left, and then he even crushed that in between his hands, like literally nothing. You know, like I think they slowed it down like halfway to show how the suit of armor was completely torn off, but then like half of his torso remained with his intestines flying out, and then once he got to the actual end of that journey, like just his head in his hands, and he crushed that in his hands. So he is insanely powerful. And then he just he turns himself into a giant kind of nuke, and then he flies all around the planet, and then blows all the other cities up, and then gets a giant rock and drops it on the other scientists and everything. Just God, I think that is easily the most accurate way to describe him. He is just the living embodiment of a nuclear bomb. Like, he doesn't even need laser eyes. Like, he can literally fly through you, and he will actually fly like a hole. Like, he will leave a hole in you where your organs should be, and then you'll just collapse to the ground and 40 or death. So he's just that powerful. He is easily that powerful. So, I mean, and even there, we saw how he actually adapted to their kind of time stream, and then he actually started, like, he didn't really start aging that much. He, like, grew, like, maybe 1 or 2 wrinkles, and then mostly just kind of facial hair growing in from all that kind of, probably even from the stress too, but we had that going on. So then he obliterated them all, and then actually got home in time for dinner too. So yeah, that was yeah. So I mean, so because of that, I can't imagine. I feel like he is really just unhinged. I feel like he really is just unhinged, But then I think what we still need is the motivation and justification for him killing the Guardians. Like this shows that physically and mentally he is very much capable of killing a team like the Guardians. But then why he did it is the question that we still need answered, like the why and stuff like that. So I feel like it's only a matter of time until we get those kinds of answers. So yeah, it should be fun. It should be a fun journey to watch as it unfolds. And then yeah, we had aliens. We had multiple times throughout this episode, we had a fully fledged alien army that was intent on taking over or destroying the human race. Either one of those. They were intent on conquering Earth. Whether that meant enslavement or destruction, that was completely up to them. But they were intent on conquering the Earth. The Flaxans, very, very green, very, very technologically advanced and everything. And they had their own issue where they came from a dimension where time was different and it actually increased for them, so they actually aged quicker. So I felt like maybe that could have been the thing there, like maybe on their planet they found out that this was happening, so then they actually looked for like another dimension. I mean, yeah, I think they mentioned that. I think, to be honest, like first they mentioned like wherever they're from, time must run quicker, but then I think that then must mean that they actively looked for other dimensions where they so I think, yeah, and then I think it was like a scene after that where they actually confirmed it was like from their dimension. So I think they actively looked for another dimension where time ran slower. So I think so I don't know why they've I don't know if it's just like if it's just the typical kind of alien invasion, like alien race intent on conquering and destroying and making like a planet their own, or if they felt like they just wouldn't be welcome, so they came in striking hard and fast and first and everything like that. But either way, they found out Earth was a dimension where time ran slower, so they actually actively came to Earth and started mowing everyone down with laser guns and everything. And I think, yeah, again, they're maintaining the gore. They are definitely maintaining the gore here. I think in the first episode, I liked that they actually held off on the gore until the final 10 minutes, and then they just went ballistic with it. Like to begin with, it's nothing more than maybe like a few drops of blood or some bruises and stuff here and there. But then when it comes to Omni-Man taking out the Guardians, it's like, yep, just beheadings, just heads and skulls being crushed, and fists through skulls, and all sorts of other things and stuff like that. So I think holding off on the actual gore to begin with, and then the last 10 minutes, just go all out, just go literally all out, and then in this one it actually shows lasers cutting through people and chopping people in half and stuff like that. So I think that kind of like detail maintenance is really, really admirable and really cool to see. So we had that. And then the Flaxans. I think that one guy who actually ended up getting like a Scarface, because he was tackled by Invincible, was really fun to see. And I think, yeah, as soon as he got the Scarface, I was like, yeah, this guy is going to be actually really noteworthy, and he's going to be the one. He's going to be the leader that actually orders the rest of them around, and he's going to be the one that's actually the one to look out for. Like, he's going to be like the most the one that's most easy to identify, because he has a scar over his eyes. But then he's also going to be the one with like the biggest grudge. He's going to be ordering the rest of them around. He's going to be the one. Like each time they returned, he came back with something new. So like they came back with bracelets anyhow. That was their main kind of improvement. But then he personally came back with like an evil villain cape. And the third time they came back with more portals. Like last time was just one giant portal, but now this time, the third time was like 3 medium portals and everything. And then he actually came back with a giant Hulkbuster suit of armor that, again, Omni-Man tore through that easily. Omni-Man literally used the buildings to tear it apart and everything. So yeah, so the Flaxans. So they were very, very interesting adversaries. And I think it was definitely interesting to introduce like a fully fledged alien army like that, or at least like to use a fully fledged alien army like that to actually introduce like a team like the teen team. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I would say next time they return, but I think Omni-Man definitely made it so that there was no next time. He definitely made it so that they would never even have the available option to come back, because there would be none of them to come back. So he literally nuked the entire planet and then got home in time for dinner. So no more Flaxen threat. So yeah, but I think I mean, that doesn't really kind of, that, I mean, obviously there are other alien races out there, and arguably even more formidable, or like equally formidable and equally deadly kind of alien armies out there. So I think next time an alien invasion does come, get the teams together. Clearly the teen team alone was not enough until Omni-Man came along, and he himself is like a one-man army. So clearly an army is needed to fight another army. So then get the teen team, get the Lizard League, get the fight force as well. So actually get these teams together, you know, strength in numbers and all that stuff, get the teams together, and then have them fighting off this alien army instead of just using like a 4 or 5 member team to fight off just like all of them at once. So I think that would also definitely give us like an excuse to actually meet the others and actually have them coming in even briefly, and then before that, and then after that actually have episodes dedicated to actually having them explored and introduced and actually established in this universe. So far it's been going great. But I think I would love to actually see them actually using these different invasions and these different fights to actually as an excuse to introduce them. But I think if they can do it in even cooler ways, then by all means, you know, do the introductions as cool as you can. So yeah, it should be fun to meet them eventually. So yeah. And then we had, in the middle of one of those fights, we actually had Invincible's outburst. He saw the team being overwhelmed by the Flaxens, and even Atom Eve having the trap thing on her face, like suffocating her. And then even the main Scarface Flaxen guy about to kill her too, and he had his outburst and tore out from the gel that they had trapped him under. And then he had his actual physical outburst, like he literally pummeled the crap out of the main Scarface Flaxen guy. So I think that makes me wonder, like, you know, I mean, that clearly shows that he's capable of actually surpassing his own limits when he has the right motivation. So if he actually sees someone that he cares about in danger, then he will very easily be able to actually break out of any traps, and hopefully in it one day, like, reach his own dad's power level. So with the right motivation, with the right kind of energy, and the right kind of, you know, kind of cause, then he can actually break out of any trap and actually, you know, utilize his strength to properly take down his opponents. I think he was definitely getting there. He was definitely actually getting to the point where he was able to pummel him. And I think the Flaxen guy actually picked up on that. So then he actually, so that one actually went back and actually got his own giant suit, like Hulkbuster style suit of armor. And then he actually managed to actually pummel Mark until his own goggles broke and he got a bloody nose. And then Omni-Man came in and actually saved him. So yeah, Mark delivered and he took. He delivered and he received. He delivered and he received, which is a very, very fair kind of treatment for any superhero to get. So that was fun to see. But I think I do look forward to seeing Mark working with the team and also actually exploring more of his own powers and actually finding out what his limits really are, and if he actually wants to surpass them. I think that will be. I think given who his dad is and what his dad's already capable of behind the curtains and exclusively open to the audience, I feel like it's going to be an interesting thing for him to explore, where, you know, what are his limits and does he really want to surpass those, or does he, because even Rex actually acknowledged his outburst and said, wow, okay, remind me never to, like, it was super awesome, but it was super awesome, but it was also super scary. So, like, remind me personally to never piss you off. So it's a very good point. So, like, you know, what are his limits? And does he actually want to surpass them? Or does he actually want to actually keep holding his punches back and only doing what's necessary and not going as far as to actually, you know, crush someone's head like his dad just so badly loves doing? So, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how that's actually explored. So, yeah. And I mean, speaking of Omni-Man taking out the Flaxens, I feel like, you know, I mean, now it's become public news that the Guardians are dead. The Guardians of the Globe are dead. So then that's gonna become more public news, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they react to that. But then Omni-Man, I think, you know, I think him taking out a team is one thing, but then like an entire planet, that's an entire like an entire race of people, you know, like an entire civilization. So, like that's like a full scale, and like that is like, you know, that is him doing him, like that is no surprise. Like he went through that portal and, you know, like intent on finishing the job, so like he really finished the job. So like that was not like a, like, you know, like again, like his actions afterwards do then like do a better job of indicating that, you know, like that wasn't just a warning, like it wasn't just a warning, it was actually his, like his last words, like him delivering the last words before he delivered the killing blow. So, you know, like thinking back to it, I mean, I was half expecting him to be like, you know, Earth isn't yours to conquer, it's mine, before he actually went off and actually killed them all. So, because then him solidifying that, you know, you know, like he is the one person who can either protect or defeat the Earth, and that's down to him. That's down solely to him. So him taking out any potential threat to Earth, not because he protects it, but because he doesn't want any other competition. So like one day, if he does decide to take out the Earth, then no one else can stop him, and he also doesn't have any kind of competition to actually, you know, take that kind of win from him. But yeah, I don't know, like him, I think like him taking out like an entire planet seems like miles more ominous to him taking out a team. Like him taking out a team was scary stuff, but then I think him taking out an entire civilization actually shows off his actual power levels. The fact that he can literally, like, it reminds me of Batman's line from Dawn of Justice, like, you know, if they're like, you know, he has the power to wipe out the entire human race. So like he really does, and like, you know, if there's even a 1% chance that he could ever turn his back on us and actually try and wipe us out, then we have to take his certainty. And Darkwing was essentially, I mean, we didn't really even see much of the original team, like much of their actual backstories or much of their actual personalities, but Darkwing, based on his actual physical humanism and his tech and everything, like he essentially was the Batman of the team, and he died instantly. So there's not really telling what is actually capable of actually taking Omni-Man out. I mean, Mark might be their only hope. Mark literally might be their only hope. So then I think it's going to be even harder for him to actually take out his own father. On the one hand, knowing that he's still his dad, and then even the team found out. Even the team found out afterwards, after Mark yelled "Dad," the Omni-Man was his father. So then that was like a huge revelation for them. But then Mark, he's going to have to find out that, you know, on the one hand, he's going to have to deal with the fact that Omni-Man is his dad and he has to take him out, but then also he's going to find out all this stuff about him that, you know, he took, for one thing, he killed the Guardians of the Globe, and then he also killed the Flaxtons too. So it's going to be a lot for him to handle. So I don't know how they plan on pulling that one off, but it'll be an interesting journey to see nonetheless. So yeah. And then we had Alan, the Cyclops fighter. So Cecil and what's his name? Nolan. Cecil and Nolan both knew him, and they spoke of him as if he was some kind of adversary or something. And they said he's back. So I mean, and I don't know why they didn't warn him that it was a test. Like, I don't know, because they spoke of him as if he was some kind of enemy that came and picked a fight every once in a while, and then he's back, he's returned, so now we just need someone to go sort him out. I mean, to be fair though, I think the one piece of advice that Nolan gave him was like, oh, he's not that tough, so you'll be fine. But I don't know, I think especially if Nolan knew it was a test, I don't know why he thought maybe that would be better as a surprise. Like, oh, don't worry, I mean, if he warns him it's a test, then he might not take it as seriously, or he might not approach it as like a life and death situation. But then, you know, I think Alan might be voiced by Seth Rogen. I think thinking about it, like that voice again, like that voice too sounded very familiar. So I feel like that had like a Seth Rogen-y kind of rasp to it that Seth Rogen typically has, and that kind of response to. So yeah, so Alan was a planet tester. For one thing, he was a planet tester. He tested the defenders of planets. He tested the defenders of planets to see if they were actually up to scratch, and to see if they were actually worthy and if they were suitable to be defenders of planets. So then Nolan must have been tested by him, and he proved himself very worthy of actually handling any extraterrestrial threat that might actually come and combat the Earth in the future. And he was from the Coalition of Planets. So maybe a extraterrestrial society that actually kind of tests planets and makes sure that they all have their individual defense systems in place to handle various threats. And yeah, so not only was he testing, like he got the wrong planet. He was meant to test Orath. So he got it mixed up with Earth, where it's literally just one letter substituted, one letter changed around. The like the E for a U. So he he got to the wrong planet, and then so I mean Urath wouldn't even have Nolan. Urath would not even have Nolan actually protecting it. So he mistook the Earth for Urath, and then mistook Mark for a completely different hero. So yeah, I don't know. Just I think I mean, thinking back to it though, I think it kind of makes sense, because again, like, the whole point of the test is to make sure that you can handle any life or death situation with the utmost of your strength and the utmost kind of sincerity of the actual situation. So then, if he goes in knowing it's a test, he might not take it as seriously, knowing that he's just being tested on like whether or not he can actually kind of pass this, and whether or not he can actually withstand a certain kind of threat level. But then if he goes in thinking it's an actual genuine enemy, he'll put that much more effort into it. He'll be that much more mentally focused, and he will just think, oh, I need to stop this guy or else the entire planet's in danger, which is the whole point of the test in everyday life. So that was like, I think it kind of makes sense, and it's also like a I think that's also like a really cool way to actually maintain planetary I think it's a cool enough way to maintain planetary defense too, making sure that the superheroes there who are assigned or who even choose to defend certain planets, make sure that they're actually up to scratch and make sure they can defend. I mean, I don't think they send Alan to test every single one. I think because I feel like like having one guy with the same set of powers to actually. I mean, we don't know he only has one set of powers. He has flight. He can breathe in space. He has super strength and all that stuff, and he can even communicate telepathically too. So there's that whole thing going. But I think at the same time that like the universe is a big place, and even the galaxy alone is a big place. So I think like sending Alan out to test every single one is very time consuming. So I think I feel like it would make more sense to have various testers going to various different planets. But then Urath is just one of the planets that Alan tests. But yeah, so that was cool. That was cool to see that's actually a thing. That's a thing that happens, and Nolan actually. So I think I think chances are Alan has tested Earth before, and he has still fought Nolan before, but then this time he actually wasn't meant to test Earth, and he was actually sent out to test Earth too. So I think that makes me wonder, like, are we gonna get like another tester after Alan? Then are we actually gonna get like someone else actually coming, like someone who's actually meant to test out the Earth, or maybe he was meant to test Urath first and then test Earth afterwards, maybe. Because then that kind of confusion would actually make more sense too. Like if Urath and Earth are next to each other on his list of planets to test out, then maybe he can easily get them both mixed up. And especially if he's been to Earth before, then he remembers that kind of planet. He remembers the path. He remembers the hero and everything. So yes, I think that would make sense. But either way, Alan, he's from the coalition of planets. He tests out the planets and he tests their defenders. So that's cool. So Seth Rogen, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've picked up from this one. So I think going forward, I think we just have to wait and see exactly how the story fits into place, how the story unfolds, and how these different clues fit into place, and how, because I think how Cecil and Damien actually continue investigating this whole thing, and how, because I mean now Cecil has actually ordered like an actual kind of surveillance of the Grayson household. So I think deep down he has his kind of own deep down he suspects it, but he doesn't want to suspect it because he's been working with Omni-Man for so long and he trusts him, and he knows that Omni-Man potentially worked with the team too. So he doesn't actually want to believe that Omni-Man would do something like this even if he was capable. So he just wants surveillance, and I think he even kind of disguised it as he disguised it as concern, like, oh, whoever, like, the real killer is out there and they're likely going to come back to finish the job, so keep surveillance on Omni-Man. But then the surveillance might get caught out by Omni-Man, or he might detect that Cecil was suspicious of him, so then he's going to try and do his own thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of mystery how that mystery gets solved, and how the puzzle pieces actually fit together for that one. And that's going to be cool. And then actually meeting them and actually kind of getting to know the team a bit more as well, like behind their superhero alter egos. Because I think so far we've only met Eve Wilkins, who is Atom Eve, but then actually meeting the more human counterparts of Rex and Duplicate would be really cool. And then, I mean, Robot's a robot. We're not really much of meeting him beyond him being robot, so that will be easy enough. So we have that, and then hopefully meeting the other teams in time too, and seeing what they're all about, and seeing if they can actually work together to take down the next invasion that comes along. I think just seeing how this team progresses and how this story progresses with Mark as Invincible is really cool too. And I think even addressing that kind of issue too. I think hearing Mark to like because Invincible is literally an adjective. Invincible is an adjective, and like hearing him constantly call himself Invincible, again, it's a bit on the nose. It's really kind of full, and it's really kind of it's really optimistic, as they all said. So I feel like, you know, I think it's too late to change it, because it's literally what the show is called. It's called Invincible. So I feel like, you know, eventually, the more Mark unlocks his powers, and also the more he gains control of his powers, he will literally fit into that role a bit more. But now, like with this one, like with this one, we saw how he literally he froze up in the middle of battle, seeing the scale of the army and seeing the damage they were causing, and like seeing just how much was going on. He froze up, and he kind of felt the backlash of it. So now, like, eventually he will actually fit into the superhero identity and the superhero kind of, you know, kind of mentality a bit more eventually, and then he'll actually eventually, I've said eventually 3 times, he'll hopefully be able to actually, you know, like, solidify himself as a superhero and actually embrace the identity of a superhero a bit more, and hopefully become the Invincible that he is meant to be. So it'll be cool to see how that happens, and exactly how he develops into that kind of a character. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So let me know what your thoughts are, what you thought of this one, and what you look forward to in the rest of this season. But yeah, that was Invincible Season 1, Episode 2. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Invincible. Once again, the full-length reaction is going to be on Patreon, so you can catch that one over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.